Kalle Sauerland. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're good, we're good. Yeah. Can't see it. Yeah, that's cool.
What colour do you want, Kalle?
5 minutes. Cool.
Okay, he's took black. Kalle Sauerland back with October Red. It's been 700 years, Kalle.
Let's swap mics.
Oh.
You know why?
Go on.
Because this goes better with a colour.
Oh.
It's been how long, many years?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. But, looking well.
You're looking well
Loving the
too.
hair today. Really cool.
Great, it's not mine.
It's not yours?
No.
Okay,
Borrowed
don't
it.
say that. I need to borrow a bit as well. Can you tell me where I can borrow it from?
Yeah, off camera. I can tell you where to
camera,
get a lot
right.
of things from, Kalle.
Really? That's good to know.
Interesting.
We'll keep that off camera.
Right. Harlem Eubank, a fighter. I remember coming to the Wasserman launch all
remember
those
that?
years
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
You signed him.
We signed him to a round deal. So a round deal, for those your viewers, listeners that don't know, a round deal is basically sort of where you test someone out, or there might be ticket sellers. They're not proper contracts even. They're a contract, but
Interesting.
it's not like. So it was really. It was really we were shot in the dark. Obviously, I never turned down a Eubank. I've promoted a few and worked with a few, and my ups and my downs with them. And they're all, and I'll say this even about Junior, they've all got their night. I respect all of them, but they're all very different. They've all got unique star power in very different ways. Senior's different at Junior's different at Harlem. Also had the pleasure of promoting a couple of fights with Sebastian, the late and great Sebastian. Wonderful human being. But they've all got this different sort of aura, which makes the family even cooler and even more interesting. But at the same time, Harlem, in his own right, fought for the contract. It wasn't like I saw, it's a Eubank, we're going to sign him to a 10-year deal and give him no. None of that. It was literally, he fought for that contract on the basis of he could have been called Harlem Smith. Yeah. Yes, later we looked at it, of course, with, how can we use the Eubank name and etc. That's what we do with promoters. But initially, at that time there wasn't any Misfits. It wasn't like, we could put him on here and, put him on more entertainment platforms. No, this was always a traditional boxing career. And we've got a path that we take with any pro that signs with us in the early years or early days, or even from the amateurs.
His progression with you, what I like is the fact that you've stayed with him. You've grown with him, you've stayed with him, you've supported him. He's been in some real tough fights. But one thing I will say about Harlem is he's improved a lot.
Yeah, he's improved a lot. I would not disagree, but I would say to you, he hasn't been in anything like the fights that Cattrall's been in. And I'll tell you why I'm going to say that, because I think
world level?
I think. Well, he hasn't fought world level yet. McKenna wasn't world level. McKenna was very strong domestic level. We knew he was a tough opponent, and he dealt with it very well. But this is a massive step up, no doubt about it. But at the same time, it's got huge rewards to it. So it's like, it's time to roll the dice. We believe in him. We know he can do it. And by the way, there's always that moment in a career. Whatever you do in life, there's that moment where you say, right, I'm going to go in a bit in the deep end here, right? It's not like he's not going into the Atlantic Ocean suddenly coming from a paddling pool, but at the same time, it is a bit. It's a bit of a step up. But guess what? We all have to do those in life. In a boxer's career, that moment will come. If you're doing the right thing, you'll keep winning. That time will come. Jack Cattrall, I need to look at his fight record exactly, but will have had that moment as well. That moment for Jack Cattrall will have already been and gone, and he would have come through it. That's how he got into the Josh Taylor fight. The first one, I guess, was his first big fight. So it's nothing new. I've seen that quite a few times in my 27 years of promoting. So it's
27 years.
Yeah, 27 years. It's shocking, isn't it? Yeah. I started very young, very young.
Well, the thing is with you, Kalle, you go between Misfits. There was a point when I thought you were sort of leaving boxing behind because you fought. tend to be so invested in Misfits. I remember looking at my phone and being frustrated and saying, I feel like he's leaving boxing behind.
No, not at all. But
It felt like that.
But yeah, but I'm blessed that I have a brother who helps. So it's
Yeah, I know it's Nissa as well.
we no one really notices whether it's me or him. There,
We do.
I mean, Sam Jones notices. That's about it. But that's my opinion. But at the same time, when Misfits launched it's already now a very big brand, and to launch that, I had to spend a lot of time around it.
Okay.
It was similar at the time when I did the World Boxing Super Series or Super Six. The normal stable continued to go on, and I sort of did these projects, and I love my projects, So, at the moment though, I'm feeling drawn very much to traditional boxing today.
And I like that. What gives you the confidence, like you said, to back Harlem, to believe that it can win? Like you said, it's a step up. You have no doubt about that. You do not doubt the calibre of Jack.
I think there's a few things. I think, first of all, like I said, I think that it's baffling for me why Cattrall's team have taken this fight. I just can't work out. It's not.
Why?
Well, I don't think it was certainly not life-changing. It's not like it's money. It's a retirement fight money-wise. That's the first thing you've always got to eliminate at this stage of a boxing career. Is this fight going to send them off in the sunset with a golden handshake? No. It's a good earning fight. Yeah. Then you've got to look at why on earth do they take a domestic name that keeps them under pressure? Yes, it's good for eyeballs, it's good whatever, but he's already got a very strong world ranking. He's just come short. He'd probably get a mandatory position sitting here and blowing someone out in an 8-rounder, Just put him on an undercard somewhere and just let him tick along, and that mandatory will come. But they haven't gone that route. They've gone the route of, no, we're going to headline an event, which needs a big A side, B side. You can have arguments about who's the A and the B, but it is a risk fight because they'll know each other. They'll have had sparring partners who know each other. They're from the same. In the UK gym scene.
Yeah, it's very small, isn't it?
It's so small,
yeah.
Right? So if you haven't sparred someone directly, you will have a sparring partner who
has,
exactly. So
it's like 6 degrees of separation, but
it's
smaller.
It's like like a big school almost with different classes, but you always know someone from the other class. There's a real community, which is great.
Kalle, I know that you've got to get off, and there's one thing that I want to ask about.
Please.
You've been in boxing for 27 years.
Well, 48 years actually. I'm 48 years old.
Oh, your dad?
And I've had my first
Yes.
babysitters were boxers, so I've been around a while.
So you've been around a while.
Fire the question.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Matchroom?
Yeah.
Frank Warren, Queensbury?
Yeah.
Boxer. Talk to us about how the promoters survive. We've seen Frank rejuvenate himself. Today, Eddie's rejuvenated himself. You've rejuvenated, like you've got involved in Misfits. And then there's Boxer. There's a little bit of uncertainty around them at the moment as in relation to broadcast deals. So when you look at the boxing promotional horizon, what do you see?
I mean, I'd say with all due respect to Boxer, I'd say Boxer is a company that's existed really for 4 years. Yeah, it's existed on the back of a Sky deal. I know they had a tournament running before.
Yep.
But so it's not like if Boxer came and went tomorrow, it would just have been a TV deal and that was it. And again, it's nothing to do with age. I was promoting world title fights at the age of 24. Yeah. I signed first ever Russian heavyweight Olympic champion Alexander Povetkin when he turned pro when I was.
He was yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I love getting taken to school.
I took him all the way to
Wow.
win the WBA world title against Ruslan Shagayev. Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance.
Yeah, I promoted him all the way, did the Klitschko fight, and after that, we're still friends. It was like a little bit like a first girlfriend. With me and him, we just really got on. It's like almost like a romantic thing, because it was my first fight.
It's like your baby.
Yeah, because it was like he came out of the Olympics. It was such a big signing for me.
24.
I remember going to his pro debut, and I was so nervous. And he was fighting a guy who was like 0-30, and I'm like, it was called Muhammad Ali. It was called Muhammad Ali. I'll never forget it. It was someplace in Germany in the summer, a small show, 3,000 people, and I was so nervous, and I jumped in the ring. It was like we won a world title.
Yeah.
But he's just beaten a guy who's fought a guy who's 0-20. And I just remember looking at it and thinking, yeah, this is pretty cool. And every fight, it was like winning a World Cup. I don't know, it's just such a nice feeling. And but you see that with earlier on. I remember, remember Eddie Earn, when he had Carl Froch was his first real fighter. And I remember him running. He almost got him disqualified. I can't remember what fight it was. The Bute fight. That was it, the Bute fight. And Froch really needed to win that fight as well. So yeah, look, we've all got our stories. So we're going back to it now. So boxer Ben, I'm sure he can come again, but you can't. He basically got the keys to the kingdom. In his first deal, which is brilliant for him. Well done. Unfortunately, didn't quite go as according to plan. I think he also did some things that he'll regret now. He'll look back at maybe some of the behaviours around the way he conducted his business. Maybe should have been done in a different way. And look, he's a young guy. He can, as long as he learns out of it and tries to put things right with the next broadcast deal he finds, or the next fighters he finds, whatever it is. But to really lose someone in an era of boxing, you've got to be around a little bit longer than 4 years. Yeah, so if Frank wasn't promoting tomorrow, we'd all notice it because
47 years.
Frank, I remember attending business meetings as a teenager. It was up at Brocket Hall Golf Club. My dad met with him to discuss Joe Calzaghe, Sven Otka. So Frank's been around my whole living memory in the sport of boxing. Okay, Eddie hasn't, but Barry has. I remember I used to deal with Barry, and then Eddie sort of turned up. So you've had these, we're survivors. You have those bad
survivors.
Years. A couple of years ago, everyone was writing Frank off with Box Nation. Eddie was going through his stable one by one, and then he's had that. That touch with Tyson, and then obviously with Saudi, and you turn it around, and but you've always got your ups and downs. And what I've learned is when you're up, don't crow too loud, and when you're down, don't cry too much. It's like just keep it real.
Keep it real. We love it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Kalle Sauerland, Mr. Wasserman Boxing himself. What a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to speaking to you again, Kalle. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.